Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Arizona Unplugged. We are here in the storage room. That is our latest project, converting this deck where our two water tanks sat and closing it to use as a storage room. As you see, I'm still not done. I gotta block all those that eave there. But it's so darn windy outside. There's no way to really work out there productively, especially doing Tyvek, which is the next step, doing the house wrap. And if you've ever tried to do that by yourself in the wind on ladders, number one, it's dangerous. Number two, it's just so difficult, it never turns out nice. So anyways, we're sitting here today to make this video, and I just realized I need to get a shop light. That's cool. I'm going to town tomorrow. I got to get 2x4s and some more 1/2-inch OSB to start building shelves in here, so we can start emptying the trailer. I already backed the trailer up to the building here, so we can start unloading the boxes from that. And finally getting my shop cleaned out and organized so I can actually use it. So it's been our storage unit for the last 10 months, and it's time to make a change with that. But that's not what this video is about. What this video is about, if you've read it in the title, should senior citizens attempt to live and homestead off-grid? Now, I'm making this video because of an experience I had just a few days ago. And I'll tell you about that first, as you know, just for context. So the family and I, we drove all the way down to Tombstone, Arizona. Yes, that Tombstone. Everybody's seen the movie, right? Val Kilmer and all those big stars. That was a great movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to pop that bad boy back in. That was a good movie. But we went to Tombstone for a couple days, and we had an excellent time, guys. We took a couple cool tours. We went down in the main silver mine there called Good Enough Mine. We took a tour around the town, and we had the awesome opportunity to stay in an Airbnb that our friends own down there. I'll actually put a link to that Airbnb. It's a RV they have, literally minutes walking to old Tombstone, you know, where all the cool stuff is, all the restaurants and bars and saloons and all the shopping. It's literally probably not even a 10-minute walk. It's just a couple blocks away. There's a lot of awesome experiences we had there. And we thank you, Doug and Carrie, once again for hosting us out there in their Airbnb. Again, the link is in the description. If you guys ever want to stay there and don't want to have to drive all the way to Bisbee or Tucson to stay in a big fancy hotel, if you want to stay right there in town very affordably, click the link. It was a great stay, a great place to sleep, and we just had a terrific time, guys. But that's where this story changes. So, as I mentioned, we took a couple of tours. And as I was in the tour office, you know, getting our tickets, the gentleman, rather older gentleman, probably early 70s, late 60s, asked me if, and I can't believe this, asked me if I qualify for the senior citizen discount. A lot of things came hitting home in that very second. It's like, man, I am getting old, aren't I? I'm only 51. I just turned 51. I've still got quite a few years to go. I believe senior citizen to be considered a senior is 55. Correct me if I'm wrong. That may have changed, just like the availability for Social Security. But yeah, it kind of hit home. You know, he asked me if I was a senior. Oh. Which is kind of weird because my wife is super young and she looks even younger, so it's probably kind of creepy. People probably thinking creepy things as they see us holding hands walking down the streets of Tombstone. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So that kind of inspired this video. Should seniors, you know, older folk, should they consider moving off-grid and living off-grid and, you know, homesteading? You know, the short answer to that is yes, but with a caveat. And again, guys, this is my opinion. You could be 80 years old and in such good shape that you'll work circles around me. That's fine. But I think for the majority of seniors, you know, typically there's something going on health-wise, you know, physically challenging. You know, you might have a bad back, bad knees. You may have some sort of disease that need treatments or medications. And if that's you, then this story's, I guess, kind of for you. You know, if you're considering living off grid, I would have to say, if you're healthy enough to get around and do stuff on your own, if you're skilled enough to build, you have the tools and the ability to put stuff together. Now, there's so many variables, in my opinion. I mean, if you buy a property already set up, already off grid, you got your solar set up, your water's done, you know, you got people to deliver firewood to you, you don't have to worry about splitting wood. If you have all this stuff already done and you go off grid to live in there, I think it's going to be much easier, especially if you're having trouble getting around already. Living off grid is very, very taxing physically. Very taxing physically, and this is in the best of weather. You know, if you're unable to walk or walk well or climb ladders or dig dirt with a shovel or a pick, if you're not able to lift plywood or you know, do stuff like that, you may not want to build off grid. Again, you may be able to buy something already built and you don't have to worry about any of that, but you know, if you're planning on building off grid, especially from scratch, you are in a huge world of work, lots of physically demanding work. Another thing you might want to ask yourself as well before attempting a journey like this, if you're a senior, is are there any services that can help you? If you fall off the ladder and break your leg, will you be able to call someone to come help you? If you're moving out in a place where you don't know anybody and there's no services like medical service, like what we pretty much have here at our homestead, ambulances can't get to us. You know, I guess they could throw me in the bed of a pickup truck and roll me out. That wouldn't be too comfortable, but it is what it is. If you don't have the ability to get help as a senior, especially if it's something major, you're going to be in a world of trouble. That's for definitely sure. If you're alone, it's even more so. If your mate, your spouse, if they aren't able to get around well, are you taking care of someone else along with yourself and the homestead? That's a question to ask yourself. And if you're on the younger spectrum of being a senior, which I guess I'm getting close, you know, do you have a backup plan? What's your escape plan? I mean, there may come a time, and I hope not, but you know, 20 years from now when I'm 70 plus, I may not want to be out here anymore. It might be too hard for me. It might be too hard for us. Do you have a get out of Dodge plan? I know we do. We're actually kind of starting to work on it now. And this is just for way, way in the future, something that we're hoping it doesn't happen, but if one of us gets sick or if we get hurt or anything like that, I mean, a forest fire can just devastate our whole mountain here. Who knows what happens, guys? So you have to be prepared. You should have a contingency plan no matter what. No matter what you're doing, whether living in the city or out here in the boonies, you should always have a backup plan. So, you know, as far as living off grid as a senior, there are its special considerations. There's that guy Don. I'm sure you guys have all seen him. He's a senior living down in southern Arizona, building a cabin out there in the desert, and he's doing it. You know, it's taking time, but he's a senior. He's doing it primarily on his own, but he's doing it. He's literally building a cabin out in the middle of the desert. You know, so if you're like that, if you're healthy and you're skilled and you can do things like that, go for it. But always put your backup plans in motion, in place, just in case something happens. So again, should a senior attempt to live off grid? I would say yes, with the caveats of making sure you have backup plans in case it doesn't work out. You know, if you're a senior and you're gonna sell your house in town where you have all the conveniences and services around you, and choose to live dozens, if not hundreds of miles away from big cities, you know, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or circumstances, it might not be a good idea for you, but And again, I'm always up for the challenge. You know, tell me I can't do something, and I guarantee you it's going to get done. So, you know, just some considerations, guys, and all this stemmed from, you know, that senior citizen asking me if I qualified for a senior discount. Still shakes me up a little bit thinking about it. I still feel young, you know. As a matter of fact, this last year I haven't felt this good since my 30s. So I think I got at least 20, 25 years in me to be able to stay out here without any issues. By that time, well beyond that time, our backup plan will be available to accept us, and we'll just take it as it comes. Another thing is, if you're around my age or younger and you got kids and they're living with you, you know, use that as an asset. You know, they can help you out. If you need to go to the doctor, they can drive you there. If you get hurt, they can help you. You know, they can go grocery shopping for you. They can help you build things. So everybody's scenario is different, guys. Everybody's situation is unique. And I think the biggest thing you can get out of this video, if you're a senior thinking about it, is, quite frankly, you have to be honest with yourself and your situation before making a move out like this. It's sad. I've actually seen people out here that are older and medically challenged with some pretty severe things, and they still come out here and it just doesn't work. They can't do it. It's too much of a strain. And you think you're coming out here saving money, but if you got to go into town every other day to pick up meds or go to a doctor or something like that, you're going to end up spending more living out here just in mileage and all that stuff, just to get around, get the things that you need. So it's important to be honest with yourself before making the decision to move out off-grid. Trying to homestead is very hard work, very taxing physically. But on the brighter side of things, we're loving it out here. You know, I'm almost a senior, I guess. If it's 55, I'm almost there. I'm a few years away. The wife is still young. By the time I think I get too old to really want to do anything out here, William will be up to the age where he can help out quite a bit. He's only 5 now. So, you know, 10, 15 years, we'll have a strong young man helping us out. So that's going to be good. Plus all the other kids that come out here on occasions. So I'll cut the video here, guys. Please tell me your opinion on whether or not you think it's a good idea for seniors to try to homestead off-grid out in the middle of the mountains anywhere. And your reasoning behind your opinion. Once again, if you guys ever want to go to Tombstone, check out the link. Doug and Carrie, they have a great little Airbnb RV. It was really awesome. It was fun to stay out there. We had a whole herd of deer just walking up and down the streets. You know, you got all the cowboy reenactment stuff, all the history, the rich history of Tombstone. This wasn't my first time there. I've been there a few times before, but I've never had as much fun going to Tombstone as we did this trip. We just got back yesterday. And we actually took a scenic route the long way out east, Arizona, and then up north, and then back home. So we saw a lot of the state I've never seen before, and I've been all over everywhere, and I haven't been on these parts. So it was really cool, really fun and interesting. We found a lot of cool little towns that we'd like to go back and visit at some point. But Tombstone, man, we had a fantastic time. It was great. So I'll cut the video here. Once again, tell me what you think about the seniors moving off-grid. I think it's a great idea if you're honest with yourself and you can physically and mentally handle it. It's a great lifestyle, guys. I'm not going to lie. So I hope you guys are all doing well. And check out the link below. Until next time, prep and thrive.